Trick or treat, everyone! In today's video, Hello Kitty is keeping the process of caramel apple sweet and simple with her 3-ingredient magical potion. It's the easiest recipe you'll ever make in the microwave and can conveniently be reheated without sliding or bubbles, just a fantastic chewy texture. Not only is it delicious, but versatile and eye-catching for spooky season since it's moldable and can be transformed into a realistic pumpkin apple. We will also be decorating Hello Kitty's classic costumes, the Franken kitty, the signature black cat costume, and the stacked pumpkin apple masterpiece constructed with 2 apples. Whether you're leaving them plain or getting creative with the decorating, this caramel apple recipe is sure to be the star of the show at your Halloween party. So, let's create something magical! Hello Kitty is sharing her expert tips for working with any chewy type of caramel like Kraft. Number 1 is to start prepping your apples by taking a pot of boiling water and adding in 2 tablespoons of baking soda and 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Just be careful, the pot will get fizzy like a bubbling cauldron. Let's go ahead and drop the apple in there and turn it around in the boiling water for 10 seconds. It helps to count to 10 while making 10 rotations. Immediately remove and give it a good dry with a towel. Into a separate bowl, I have an ice bath ready to soak the apples. This separates any of the remaining waxy residue from the skin. This cleaning method is essential for any chewy type of caramel, so it clings without sliding and to prevent bubbles from forming in the coating. After soaking for 30 minutes, remove from the ice bath, then dry them off again and leave them out on the counter for 24 to 48 hours. Once the time has passed, wipe off the sticky sap and chill the apples for at least 3 to 4 hours in the fridge. The best time to insert your wooden candy apple sticks is right before preparing the caramel. Hammer down the sticks with a mallet, then they go right back in the fridge until ready to dip. In the meantime, I'm going to reveal the magic potion for this easy, chewy, 3-ingredient microwave caramel. One of the secret ingredients is key for stabilizing the mixture. Into a tall, microwave-safe measuring cup, I'm dropping in 2 packages of Kraft Caramels, along with 3.5 ounces of white melting wafers, and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream to thin it out. All it requires is a little patience to come together, but much better than spending hours over a hot stove. Now, let's microwave the mixture in 30-second intervals, stirring in between each interval to prevent scorching or overheating. There's not going to be much melting activity at first, however, it's important not to add any additional liquid that will alter the recipe. Once the mixture is mostly melted but still gloppy like this, continue heating in 15-second intervals until smooth and fluid for dipping. When achieving that melty consistency, it's perfectly okay for the mixture to reach 200 degrees. Since the ideal dipping temperature is 190, you just need to wait a few minutes for it to cool down. Hello Kitty's other essential tips are to avoid the bright white melting wafers. As you can see, the color is washed out and not very appealing. Instead, using regular white brings out the rich caramel color because they contain ivory tones. My go-to brands are Merkin's or Ghirardelli. The caramel is absolute perfection at the range of 180 to 190 degrees. Let's get dipping by popping any air bubbles with a toothpick, then tilting the cup, swirling the apple into the pool of caramel until completely covered, and wiping off the excess. Remember, the apple should always be cold right out of the fridge for the best possible results. Cold apples ensure the coating sets properly for this method. The best part is that the mixture is super sturdy and can always be reheated. Compared to homemade recipes, which don't usually reheat very well, simply pop the measuring cup back in the microwave for easy and convenient dipping. A super unique feature of the Chewy Caramel is that it's moldable for decorating, so we will be transforming one of the apples into a realistic pumpkin design. Grab a candy apple stick to create the lines on the rind of the pumpkin. Begin after letting the caramel set for 5 minutes, rocking on the surface to mark a line, and finish passing through several times to carve it out, then continue in sections all the way around until achieving your desired look. This was my first time making a pumpkin apple with the rind detail. Comment down below if you want to try out this spooky technique. Next, the remaining designs need her ears attached. Take a regular sized marshmallow and snip it in half on a diagonal, and another time in half again. Then cling the sticky portion onto each side of the apple. Keep in mind, one marshmallow will make 2 pairs of ears. Right after the ears are stuck on is when I dip in chocolate to prevent the marshmallows from shrinking or drying out. The pumpkin apple was dipped in orange merkins, which is the perfect pumpkin spice shade without having to add any extra candy coloring. The second color is a minty green for the Franken kitty. The trick is to tilt the apple side to side to avoid getting chocolate on the stick. And my favorite dipping container is a tall deli container. Third color is black chocolate for the black cat costume apple. The shiny coating leaves the ears super seamless, and simply wipe the bottom on the side of your dipping container to remove any excess chocolate. The fourth and final color is bright white for the classic Hello Kitty. Notice this is the only apple we're not dipping in caramel, just chocolate, to prevent any oozing or leaking when we stack the apple onto the pumpkin. And guys, if you're enjoying so far, be sure to join the party and subscribe for more fun treat tutorials, and hit that bell to receive all notifications. The fun part is the decorating. Let's bring Franken Kitty to life. Her bolts are made with mini marshmallows and thin pretzel sticks. The Good and Gather pretzels from Target are thinner. I find other brands are thicker and aren't as easy to work with. Take a cookie scribe and gently poke through like a sewing needle, then twist with the end of a candy apple stick to gradually increase the size of the opening until it's able to fit your pretzel. Assemble the bolt by squishing the marshmallow onto the pretzel and dip the end into a small amount of green chocolate. Now gently press through the opening to secure, and her bolts are looking spooktacular so far. For her facial features, I created the pieces with fondant for a clean look, or you can choose to pipe them on if you prefer. I adhere her small black oval eyes with a tiny dot of edible glue. Less is best to prevent color transfer or bleeding from the fondant, as well as her yellow jelly bean nose in the center. And before placing the whiskers, I drag edible adhesive on with a toothpick and arrange directly over the outline. This sprinkle grabber is such a helpful tool for detailed decorating work. I will include it along with all the other supplies in the description box down below. Another convenient tool is an extruder to roll the fondant to a thickness similar to a spaghetti. Trim the strands to your desired length and apply the longer strand on a diagonal just below her ear, followed by 3 shorter pieces as a cute scar to complete the look. Let's give the bolts a makeover with a coat of silver edible paint. By lightly dabbing onto the marshmallows with a brush, I mix my paint with a combination of silver luster dust and Everclear vodka for the most coverage. Finish dressing her up with a touch of sparkle. Get creative and pick your favorite colors of edible glitter to bling out her bow. As the glue, I spread on a thin layer of edible adhesive and shake on a generous pile of glitter to evenly coat. Secure her signature bow with a stiff consistency royal icing. Franken Kitty meets her other partners in crime, like the pumpkin queen of Halloween herself. I have this cute jack-o'-lantern cookie cutter to cut out my black fondant. A little bit of Crisco shortening helps make it more pliable and less likely to crack when rolling and cutting the shapes. Here's the perfectly pumpkin apple. I individually stick on the triangle eyes and jack-o'-lantern grin with edible glue. My tips and tricks for a successful stacked apple is to tap down the stick so it pokes through the bottom, then gently widen the opening with a Bismarck decorating tip a little at a time. Avoid using a knife or it could crack the chocolate, and wear gloves to avoid smudging. Once you're able to remove, carefully pass it over the apple you want to stack. Notice how I picked a smaller size apple for the Hello Kitty face and a wider apple to resemble the pumpkin. I applied her fondant eyes, nose, and whiskers the same way as earlier, and all that's missing is some chocolate pumpkin decorations for her petite pumpkin hat, along with a red sparkly bow. And she is such a spooky masterpiece. Last but not least is the Black Cat Costume Apple. Hello Kitty's furry face peeks through a costume by cutting white fondant with an oval cookie cutter. Lightly smooth the oval over the apple and add on her eyes and nose. My go-to technique is to mark some grooves into the fondant with a toothpick as your guide and apply the edible adhesive to trace over the impression, then put the whiskers in those exact spots. Accessorize her costume with a sparkly pink bow and she's ready to attend the Halloween party. Some important instructions to keep your creations fresh are to refrigerate the apples after you finish dipping and decorating with chocolate. Store inside candy apple boxes to protect from condensation until ready to serve. Plain caramel apples that aren't decorated should be refrigerated after 30 minutes or once the caramel has cooled. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this 3-ingredient microwave caramel, and it becomes your new favorite sweet treat to share with family and friends. If you like, comment down below which of the Hello Kitty apple designs was your favorite, and happy Halloween! It's Christina here, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.